You see that red stain on the asphalt there? Let that be a warning, Parzelli. You hit me on the first corner, that's going to be seeping out of your chassis. Be patient. Ugh. Timmy, Gucci Biff, and Joe. How on earth am I going to do this? Hit maneuver. Oh yeah. Come on, more of that. Keep that up. Come on, fellas. Don't hold back. Get stuck into each other. Come on. Fight. 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 Yes. 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 Oh, he does it again. So long, suckers. Oh, it's an honor to lead this group of fine young men. It really is. The pleasure is all mine. So we are back with another GTA Race Crew endurance racing event. And as you've probably already noticed, the lineup has changed quite drastically from last time. Mazel, Exo, and John Boy were absent this time around, but they've been replaced by some pretty handy racers. It was hardly an exclusive event. The race was scattered with a handful of people from other crews, but no one seemed to mind. We're all friends, right? You know, as long as you drive as cleanly as possible and respect others when collisions happen, which they inevitably do, then there isn't really a problem. However, when you're dealing with a connection like mine, it's pretty frustrating when a few outsiders rock up at the last minute and clog up the servers even more. A lobby of 15 racers is enough to make my modem burn the tips of your fingers if you touch it. But when you get up to 20 racers, it's basically thrashing around on the stool and hopping out the front door like a kangaroo. So yes, my lag was really bad this race. I ended up qualifying in 4th position with a pretty shabby lap. We were only given 2 laps really out of 4 to get a lap time, so I was a bit underdone, I guess. It was a bizarre setup to the race because GT2 and GT3 went all the way around the track before the race started as kind of a handicap to give some distance between us. In my opinion, this strategy was a failure because it not only meant that GT1 was playing catch up the whole race, it also meant we had to overlap them in order to finish in our proper classes. This was going to be very hard because GT2 and GT3 was Zentornos and Turismos, which are more or less the same caliber as the Osiris. Surely it can't be done, right? 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 So I was having a pretty shaky lap but still holding the lead until Beef took me out on that corner, causing himself and Joe to get the jump on me. They were lagging and jumping all around the place straight after, so I quickly concluded that it must have been lag and he didn't actually hit me. After seeing the footage from his perspective, that was indeed the case. I do forgive you, Beef, but just know that this incident is going to cause deep emotional scarring for me. I've waited for you, I've been patient, I stood on your front lawn in the pouring rain, holding my portable stereo above my head and playing that, you know, our song? It'll never be the same, Beef, never. Anyway, so not long after, Joe must have thought he was playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater or something, because he just popping some moves right there. So I regained 2nd position and embarked on a long and tedious chase of Gucci Salami, which lasted about 5 laps. We had our moments of coming close. I was gaining him at certain stages, but it was always quickly subsided by either a small error from me or him throwing all this junk at me. After a few rage quits and disconnection, the lag eased up a bit and I was able to get a pretty good view of him. Blaze it! So 5 laps down and a few oversteers later, I still couldn't catch up to him. It was around this time he started to turn on his autopilot and start to clip his toenails and finger his belly button like he usually does. Standard practice for Gucci Beef in endurance races. I had my first encounter with a GT3 class in the form of a naked Turismo. It went down smoothly and no damage was done. Now here's where my first mistake occurs. I pull in for a routine curb boost, but this pedestrian's caught me off guard. I stupidly try to go around the outside instead of coming back onto the road, causing me to miss the checkpoint entirely. I turned around and grabbed it without any problems, but I couldn't regrade my speed quickly enough without Timmy overtaking me, with Joe and Parzelli not too far behind. The following lap, Timmy overshot this corner here, giving me a good run on the outside. He holds off letting me get into 2nd position, but unfortunately a few corners later it didn't end so well. I oversteered around this sweeping right-hander here, which gave him room on my inside. I stick to the right lane to give him room, but the lag takes me off the edge. As I'm diving out of my car, I notice it spins and perfectly towards the checkpoint. so refreshing was pretty much pointless. Parzelli overtook us, and at this point I knew the race was pretty much lost. Thankfully Timmy held up for me and let me pass despite it not being his fault, which also allowed someone by the name of Joe to start pressuring me. Ah! Oh, not the naked Turismo. Will someone deal with this streaker? Oh, rats! So Joe takes me out. Or maybe it was his ghost. His soul? I don't know. Either way, it's caused Timmy to get back in front of me, positioning me dead last in GT1. Oh, the naked Turismo! The hippie! Get away! Oh, God, thank you. So I managed to catch back up to Timo, with him and I proceeding to have a solid battle for a few laps. This lap ended up being my quickest lap of the race with a 3:10 flat. But to be honest, I didn't feel like I had a clean lap at all the entire race, with Timmy and Beef both getting 3:09s. I really started to hone in on him, so I decided to mix up my camera view. I find the furthest one is good for pace, but when I'm in contact racing circumstances like this, I feel like I benefit more from being up close and sort of bending it around to see what disaster is waiting ahead of me. Timmy and I managed to catch up to Elusive Caesar from GT3. I can forgive him for not pulling over in this situation. These roads are too narrow and I think it creates more problems if he was to try and pull over, so he ends up making a massive mistake. Timmy gets punked again and I somehow slip through there unscathed. That was probably the only instance in this entire race where luck was actually on my side. Actually, the hell with luck. That was skill. Pure skill. So I've just reached the halfway point and all I'm trying to do is focus on hunting down Parzelli. Alright, he's coming up. I better get prepared. Yo, it's Parzelli. You already know it. Next Vanilla Ice coming at ya. Oh, he's made a mistake. He tries to reverse into me, but despite his efforts, I regained second position. And after that, I was all alone for a long time. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. So I'd refrained from making a pit stop during the pit window because Parzelli had refused to take one while I was tailing him, so I dragged his ass in there and made a mistake on the way. And after all these accidents, I hadn't actually realised how wrecked my car was. It's just, as soon as I got a wrench, it's so smooth now. Like, was I really missing out on this that whole time? I feel alive all of a sudden. Oh God, I'm having flashbacks. Is this a dream? Is this what deja vu feels like? I have this empty feeling in the pit of my stomach. Oh God. Speeble! Oh. All good. No mess. This was probably the only instance in the entire race where a GT3 actually pulled over for me. So I was approaching him, and look at him, just pulls over for me. Thanks, con man. You're awesome. And the naked Turismo has popped out of the jungle, and he's found his clothes. Good for you, man. Hey, look, don't let anyone tell you how to live. Just keep doing your thing, man. I respect that. Just take a quick look at the leaderboard here, approaching a chicane. Yep, okay. Oh, shit. And here comes Parzelli. Better block off the right lane like I sure as hell know he would. Aha! Great success! After that incident, Parzelli decided to pack his bags and book a flight with tail between his legs airlines heading to Butthurt Island. And that was the end for him. Another one bites the dust. See ya, Parzelli. Woo! Put me out of my misery, please. So that pretty much wraps it up, guys. This event is still in its teething phase, so there's sure to be a few hiccups here and there. It wasn't perfect, but with the arsenal of exceptional races in this crew, it won't be long until we get a bit of rhythm and consistency to this whole thing, and hopefully result in some feud-free racing and fun for everyone. So here's the leaderboard. Parsmelly and Joe got kidnapped during the race and hopefully molested. Timmy finished not far behind me. I got second, and Gucci Salami finished in first place. Ignore all those other dudes in between. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time. Woo!